I'm Nicole Oliver, and I'm so thrilled to be here. And apparently, we're going to teach y'all how to do a little voice acting today, but I'm not going to do it by myself. I'm going to introduce the rest of the people who are going to take us through this fantastic journey of vocal imaginings and stylings. Everyone, stand up, put your hands together for Rebecca Shoichet! Creber. And then we have Alex, one of our lovely community guests, and we're going to be putting him through the ringer. And then the lovely, the talented Shelby.
She's usually mascotting.
Sure,
come on over here.
So, this is finding the voice within. It's not about finding your inner voice or your inner child, but releasing it all and becoming crazy. Who would love to be a voice actor? You know what? I got a little bit of news for you. Voice is just the adjective, right? The noun is. And we are all already actors in real life. So if that scares you, vomit, get it out of your system. But you are all actors, and we're actually going to have you participate with us today. So what we have here is we have a little script. Dinner at Capone's. And there's 3 characters in it. Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie. So eventually they are going to perform this script. But here's what's the little trick we're doing? The little flip, the little thing? They can't sound like what?
We don't want to do sound-alikes. We're not here to imitate or to copy. We're here to find the inner voice of the character from where it comes from yourself.
We're here to create.
We are going to create something
original
new.
works of art.
That's
terrified?
I think.
Great.
I think we have a new addition to our panel as well. This is Jessie Nowak.
Hi! Characters? Isn't that the way? Guess what? You're an actor. Okay, that's
okay. So barf and get it out of your system, right?
Yeah. Barf and get it out of your system. So when you get a script, you're like, "Hey, gee, Mom, I want to be an actor," and they're like, "Oh, great, okay." There's a couple of things you need to consider, like how do you get these words off the page and out? How you all watch cartoons all the time, right? So. It's not just about making funny voices. You really have to be these characters. You have to know who they are, what they want, which is called their intention or motivation, right? You need to know what's standing in the way of getting what they want, besides discord. It's called, an obstacle. You need to know what you're going to do to get what you want, and that as an actor is called your tactics, right? The actual verbs, I'm going to tease, I'm going to cajole, I'm going to compliment, I'm going to caress, I'm going to canoodle, I'm going to jar. Sorry, don't sue me. You know, and I'm going to muss. Right? Whatever.
Nice product.
It's a good product. It smells good too. So tactics, so who you are, what do you want? What are you gonna do to get what you want? What's standing in the way of getting what you want? And then also, who are you in the scene with? And what is the relationship you have to those characters? It's a lot of thinking stuff, right? You've gotta be kind of smart to be an actor. So on top of all this brain work you do called script analysis, then you gotta let it trickle down into your body and figure out how you're gonna do something other than who you are. But you kinda gotta know who you are first in order to know how to go away from that. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's kind of in 5 minutes.
Checking your bracelet watch there?
Yeah, my bracelet watch.
It's a sparkle past a sparkle.
It's the latest thing in Equestria. When the diamonds cross the sapphire, I don't have a sapphire, but let's pretend. It's noon, and it's time for wine. But anyway. So, script analysis, character development. And then you have the actual script, which are the words, and they help you know where the story's going and what you need to do. So that's kind of the basics. But before you can even start to do something off the page, voice, this part's like 10% of your body, right? So what are you gonna do with the rest of it? What are you gonna do with the other 90%, as they say? Wiggle around? Great, stand up on your feet. Rebecca's gonna take us through.
I'm gonna lead you guys through a warm-up, a vocal warm-up. Everybody's invited. So this is gonna be interesting with a microphone. Now sometimes you might think this is excessive, but it is true that our whole torso, in fact, all the way from our feet, all the way up to the top of our head, is involved in creating the sound that we make when we're voice acting. So what I want everybody to do, if you have room, if not, just kind of go halfway. We're gonna do a spine roll down. This is just a great way to start any day, not just a vocal warm-up, but I'm just gonna put this down. This is hard to do physical things and talk at the same time.
Normally you don't wear heels, so this could be entertaining.
Nicole's all about the comedy today.
So we're gonna start by rolling from the top of the head, just let the weight of your
Okay, so let the weight of your head draw you down towards the ground, and I'll demonstrate.
Come on, everyone.
Are they doing it? So the idea is to let gravity draw your spine and expand it. Are you doing it?
I'm kind of, sort of doing it. I'm trying to make sure they can hear you.
And now we're going to slowly roll up and restack your vertebrae one at a time. I probably should have explained that before I did it. How's everybody's hair? How's everybody's badges? In place? Good. We're going to do it again. Okay, here we go. Slowly roll down and exhale as you go.
And while you're kind of halfway or at the bottom, if you're folded in half, that's cool. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and expand your ribs. And feel the space that you get from stretching your lungs inside your body, and feel that those muscles between your ribs expand. And then slowly exhale and roll back up.
Oh, so good. Right, Nicole? She's sitting down.
Yeah, it feels familiar. But that's not it. That's just the first step. What's next?
So what's next? We're going to do a little side roll. We're going to reach one arm over, and we're just going to stretch out our side ribs because our diaphragm's connected all the way around our body. So let's do this.
And why do you need your diaphragm?
The diaphragm controls the breathing. It's a membrane that stretches.
And breath really is the foundation for everything, right?
Yeah.
If you don't breathe, you die. But if you don't breathe, you can't do things like, ah! Doesn't that feel good?
When you go into a session, you don't know if you're going to be screaming, right, guys? You might have a script, but they might all of a sudden throw another character at you and say, hey, can you be the dying swan? And you'll be like, well, I warmed up today, so yes, I can.
Yeah,
or
I
you
stretched,
can say,
yes.
Or you can say, I didn't warm up today, so I'm going to thrash my vocal cords, which is not a good option for longevity of the voice. Okay, so we've stretched out our ribs. Now we're going to take a deep breath with both arms up. Reach up. And as you breathe in, feel your abdomen expand and exhale. This is just good for
It's good. Here's a little mic tip. Never breathe into the mic like, they hate it.
Yes, they hate it.
It's not good, so seriously don't do that. If you're in front of the microphone, always point that down to the stand and no engineers will come and kill you. Just a little safety tip.
Or you can angle off to the side too. Here, one more breath in. And exhaling.
Hey, one more time, and when you go up to the top, and then you're gonna release with a,
yeah, big sigh.
yeah, big breath in. I just wanna hear everyone do it. And go.
So musical. Yeah.
Welcome to the yoga retreat in Baltimore.
Okay, now let's vocalize a little bit more. Let's take, can anybody do this?
Yeah, so in addition to warming up your body, you have your lips, your teeth, and you have the tip of the tongue. This is the stuff that goes together to make all those sounds. So if it's dead, your performance will be dead.
So we're gonna do a little roller coaster ride and just a gentle.
And it should start, anybody's nose itching or tweaking a little bit? That's good, that means your face is waking up.
And now let's do some meow, meow, meow. It's really over the top, but it's what you need to do to get everything woken up. Meow, meow, meow.
I'm really happy you're not making chicken
out.
sounds.
And then squish up like a mouse.
Oh, squeeze it up. Make your face as tight as you can.
Small.
Make your mouth big like a lion. Make your chance. Stick your tongue out, everyone. Stick it out. Make a sound.
And now in.
Make your face really small like Rebecca.
Good. And now just soften. Blah 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 blah. Is everybody feeling a little bit looser? A little bit more connected?
Pardon me?
Are we feeling a little bit more connected?
Yeah, so does everyone feel you should, when you speak, it's not just from your throat, right? You have all the resonators. There's a word, say it after me. So where all the sound can vibrate. Everyone, do you feel larger than life? Are you feeling ready to go? You feel like your instrument is warmed up?
Ribcage nice and stretched out.
Okay, so your instrument's warmed up, you're ready to go, but who are you gonna be and how are you gonna get there? Michelle.
Give it up for DJ Nicole Oliver and Rebecca Shoichet.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more awake than I was 10 minutes ago. Exactly. Okay, so how many of you guys know what a character description is? Okay, solid. So when we get auditions, we get a breakdown, usually of the storyline of the show that we're auditioning for. Then we get a character description, character name, character age, gender, and then we have our sides. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever done film and TV before, but voiceover sides work a little bit different than other types of auditions for various acting things. They are very often just your character's lines. So sometimes you don't even have the whole scene to go on.
It can be hard.
It can be
to
hard.
know who your teammates are, who your relationships are with other people in the scene.
Yeah, so a lot of the times you really just have to make your own solid decisions. And that's really what the casting directors want to see. They want to see that you've made a choice and that you're committed to it even with little information.
Bold choices, yeah.
Yeah, so with a character description, sometimes there'll be like a good paragraph, but what I like to say is there's about 3 important words in there, and that's all you really need to know. They'll say like, you know, this character is your brother, and this is where you grew up, and that's all dandy information, but then they will say shy, raspy, and youthful, or something like that, and those are the key words that will really shape where you want to take it. And you have to interpret that in your own way, right? As I said, making solid choices.
Because youthful isn't the same for everyone. Like, you know, I think I'm youthful, and then I look at you and you're youthful.
But Nicole's youthful will be different from my youthful, and Rebecca's shy will be different from my shy. And so it's about embracing your individuality in the character, and yeah, making choices. So that's the main point. Now, do we want to get into a bit of the technicality of voice editing? Where do we want to go next? Or do we want to go to the script
Well, I think, let's look at the script. So we have Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie, and they're pretty established characters. So Rarity, audience, what are some words you use to describe Rarity?
Keywords. Fabulous. Totally.
Yeah.
I can see Tabitha reading that in the description, and that just instantly, that one word, bringing her to that place, and when she does the role, her hand is up, and she's embracing just even that one word, right? So what's another one? Fabulous?
Creative. Somebody said creative.
Yeah?
Creative, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like
She is very creative.
And then, which one of you would like to do Rarity in the script? Have you prepared anything?
We haven't. We got the scripts as we got on stage.
I love it!
This happens to actors too.
So, if you were all, let's say, auditioning for this project, you would prepare for all the characters. You would get great character descriptions like Michelle has talked about. You'd reflect on your life. When did I feel sad? How did that make me feel? You have to be able to lift the words off the page. Does that make sense? It can never feel read, right? It has to feel new and original every time you do it, even if it's take 100. So how about you do Rarity? How about, which one would you like to do out of Pinkie Pie and Applejack? Pinkie Pie, and would you like to be our Applejack?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so when you get these scripts, there are words on the page, but in real life, there are so many things we do naturally without thinking about that create a sound atmosphere that helps to really make these words pop and feel real. So for example, everybody stand up. Okay, here's a description. You've had a really long, hard day. You sit down, what sound do you make as you do it? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so you're reaching for something. What sound do you make as you reach for that last Coca-Cola? Right? If you're happy and you know it, what do you do besides clapping your hands? So, but interesting, inside the voice booth, if it says you're gonna cheer, okay, let's say we have Walla where it says cheering. Okay, at the count of 3, I want you guys to all cheer. 1, 2, 3. But here's the thing, we can't clap. Does anybody know why we can't clap in the booth? Does anybody up here know why?
It is loud and percussive in there.
Yeah, and you're making sounds and it's going to ruin your take. So I want everybody to cheer without clapping. So just using vocalizations on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? So there's so many things we do. As you walk through your day today, just notice how many times you add little sighs. So let's say you saw something really cool, like, oh, I don't know, Rebecca Shoichet walking out of the bathroom stall next to you. What sound would you make? Huh? What the? Or let's say you saw Mitch Larson streaking down the hall. I know what sound I'd make. So there's a whole, these are all called what we call in the biz Walla, or pre-life or post-life. Pre-life because they might come before a line, post-life because they come, I know it's hard.
Now, can I just say something? I saw a couple of you guys put your hands out when you did that. Didn't that feel natural? That's what you wanted to do, right? So as voice actors, we can't move our feet. We cannot be stomping our feet. The whole microphone's gonna pick that up from the stand upwards, right? So you should see us in a semicircle. We look like a bunch of monkeys. Because all we have is our hands. And so when you're cheering, you want to reach out and use that as long as you keep your face central to the microphone and you're not wearing bracelets like I'm wearing right now. Use your hands, and that will centralize everything into your face and bring it out to express into the microphone. So use that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be afraid to use your body and use your face.
Just keep your feet planted.
So I'm wondering, why don't we start working our way through? Do you guys want to go and work with them and make sure they're using their body and their face and give them tips as we work through? Would that work?
Sure.
So this is dinner at Capone's. Now, when you get a script, well, here's my little shameless self-plug. The last couple of years, I've been voice directing in addition to voice acting. So I thought maybe what I do is take you guys through the script, and you'll have Rebecca and Michelle to help give you some acting points and tips when we're trying to make things blossom and grow. How does that sound for everybody up here?
Perfect.
Okay, does that sound good for you guys out there? Okay. So when you get a script, the lines are usually numbered. That's how we keep track of where we start and where we begin. This script, it isn't, so bear with us.
Hair director.
Yes.
What are the 3 descriptive words we should give to each of these characters? Because we need to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We don't have character breakdowns on this script.
Okay, so let's start with our Rarity. So Rarity is going to be friendly, a bit of a know-it-all, and creative. So whoever our Rarity is, how about you are, right? Why don't you take a line and let's just play with that. Thinking creative, bit of a know-it-all, but friendly.
Darlings, I'm so glad we were able to come to Caponi's together. You'll love it here, though I'm sad the others couldn't join us.
Love that. Could you try making her a little bit younger sounding and pick up the pace of it?
Darlings, I'm so glad we were able to come to Caponi's together. You'll love it here, though I'm sad the others couldn't come.
And could you maybe just put it up a little higher?
Darlings, I'm so glad we were able to come to Caponi's together. You'll love it here, though I'm sad the others couldn't join us.
Great, and how would she laugh? I love it. Fantastic. So, yeah, round of applause. So then that would become our voice rep. Okay, so let's now our next actor. So you are our Pinkie Pie, right? So what 3 words do you think, Michelle, for Pinkie Pie?
I was thinking energetic is a big one. I don't know. One of the things bouncy, yeah. Bouncy, and well, you guys know her best. What's the third one? I would like to say, this is a bit of a off-ball word, but for some reason the word dynamic comes to mind, because when you have a character that has this much energy, the only way to make it really interesting, like Andrea does, is to give her the little moment, those moments where she just kind of goes, da-da-da-da, and then she'll shoot right back up.
Yeah, so she's quite dynamic from going highs to low, but so that we don't all do this, all the time when we have a headache! Yeah. How about our Pinkie Pies a little more lower in their register?
A little more Barry White, I dare to say.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Well, how about you do a line as you prepared in the last 10 seconds? Go.
Twilight found a new book on magic, so we're probably gonna see her in a week.
Okay, what line were you doing there, love? I'm trying to...
The 4th line?
Yes, okay. All right, now.
I want you to go a little bit lower and make her a little bit dumber. Make him a little bit dumber.
Apparently Twilight have found a book on magic theory, so we're probably gonna see her in a week.
Great, and then every once in a while, I want you to go like, get really excited. Just add that on top.
Apparently Twilight has found a new book on magic theory, so we're probably gonna see her in a week.
Okay, and now after theory that makes you so excited, I want you to have a giggle fit. One more time.
That's my hardest, weakest point. Apparently Twilight has found a new book on magic theory, so we're probably see her in a week.
Awesome. That's great. Hand of applause. Thank you. And now listen, if you make a mistake, if you have a little foible or a little bobble, believe it or not, we're not perfect, although we pretend we are. I know, shocking but true. So if you make a mistake, all you need to do is go back to the beginning of the line in which the error occurred and do it again. No big deal. That's why your engineer is your best friend. All right, our third character is Applejack. What words for Applejack? Honest, dependable.
I like the word
friendly.
I like the word honest. I feel like in terms of translating that into what it could be for a vocal quality, maybe the word sincere. Because that genuine, sincere, that's what honesty comes across as, right? Yeah. Okay, so we got, what did we get? Honest, friendly.
Yeah.
Or I mean genuine, friendly.
Yeah. All right, so let's do a little Applejack line there.
Well, Fluttershy told me that Angel Bunny wasn't feeling good, though I suspect the bug was faking it. Oh my god. So, Applejack is Surfitude. Pinkie Pie is Barry White on speed. And Rarity is
fantastically Rarity, but really original. So, you know, we all know what you sound like, but we found their voices now. So we're gonna start at the script. Can anyone tell me what is happening in the beginning of the scene? What's going on? Actor people on stage.
According to our description, scene, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack are enjoying an evening at a fancy restaurant in Canterlot. They are looking at the menu, and non-unicorns have questions.
So you're sitting in the restaurant and you're looking at the menu, right? So what sort of sounds do you make when you look at the menu when you're trying to figure out what to eat? Right? So that would be an instance where maybe you could pepper some of that in. Hey, why don't we go from Rarity's line, darlings,
Until?
or just until we stop? Let's go down to the bottom of the page. First page. So when you are actually recording these things, in real life we have a tendency to interrupt, right? To jump on top of each other because we really want to share what we have to say. But you can't do that in the studio, even if it's written that way. You need to allow a little moment for the engineer to push the faders up and down. So if you have an overlap or a voice jump, then we can't use that take. But you can't let the energy drop. So I want you to make sure you guys aren't jumping on top of each other, okay? Let's go from Rarity's line down to Applejack. This is Dinner at Capone's, line 1 down to line 12. This is take 1.
Darlings, I'm so glad we were able to come to Capone's together. You'll love it here, though I'm sad the others couldn't join us.
Well, Fluttershy told me that Angel Bunny wasn't feeling good, though I suspect the bug was faking it.
Apparently Twilight found a book on magic theory, so we'll probably see her in a week.
And Dash just flat out said no when I told her about what we were eating.
Well, if Rainbow Dash wants to be uncultured, that's on her.
Rarity. A lot of these words in the menu are fancy and confusing. I've never heard them.
What? Confusing? Aren't you a baker?
Yeah. Yeah, but just bake sweets and treats. The chef stuff. Besides, I haven't eaten a normal dinner meal in like 9 years or so.
I have questions. I just don't want to ask them right now.
There's this big word at the top of this page here. Entree. Does that mean we're getting sticks and leaves of the food?
No. That's entree. It's a term for the main course of the meal.
Ooh, that's a relief. I eat too many leaves bucking all those apple trees.
Fancy. Good job. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys some notes. You're gonna get a pen. How did that feel, you three?
It felt like a cold read.
Well, as actors, we usually get our scripts the night before, and it's our job to do our preparation and come ready to play. But it's also our job to come into the booth willing to throw away everything we thought was going to be what it was going to be. And so it does feel like a cold read a lot of the time, first time. So you got to fake it till you break it. So I want everyone to pick up their energy just a little bit. I'm going to give you some specific notes. Say
that 10 times fast.
Okay. So, Rarity, give me a little looking at the menu off your first line before darlings, please. Angel Bunny wasn't feeling good, though I suspect the little bugger is faking it. Applejack, you can be a little more pissed off there. Pinkie Pie, give me that giggle after theory we talked about. So write it on your script. You'll never remember the notes you're given, so you write them down.
Also, a little tip, I like to write down those 3 keywords right at the top of the page too, because sometimes when you get in there, if there's adrenaline or you're tired or you're doing multiple characters, that's very common. Those keywords are supposed to just ground you back to where you started. So I like to do that. But.
Hey, and Applejack, you know you say a Dash just flat out said, no way. Sometimes when we talk about other people in our life, don't you find you imitate them a little bit, right? So maybe when you say no way, you can do it like Dashwood, okay?
Okay.
On that line, thank you.
And in that case, I think we can do an imitation.
I think we can do an imitation.
That would be fun.
That would be a good one. So then it says, after that's on her, what does it say with a star around it? After, on your line, Rarity?
Flips her mane upward with her hoof.
What sound would you make when you do that? Great, so let's hear that after that line. And then Pinkie Pie, before your Rarity, if things are confusing, what sound do we make, everyone? So maybe it's, guys, what sounds would we make to let people know things were confusing? What are some acting tips you could do?
And sometimes we drag out the words a little bit because we're trying to put it together in our brain. So maybe Pinkie Pie, Rarity, that line, you're like, this is hurting my brain. Let's hear that a little bit more. So you're trying to really figure out these words. Befuddled, I need a pre-light before your what? Almost like spitting up water, like, but not into the mic. Sorry, guys. Yeah. And then little chuckle after besides, Pinkie Pie in your next line. I haven't eaten a normal dinner meal in like 9 years or so. And then Rarity, let's get that little pre-life before your line. I loved your on-tree Applejack. I think you gotta milk that moment more. As an actor, really, it's all about you all the time. And you should be told, let's just let other people play too. So let's milk that moment. Let's have more fun with that, okay?
Okay.
And even you can have more fun with entree than you did. I love what you did, but go further. Okay. I think you guys need to get on your feet. Yeah, let's get on your feet.
I wonder if we could Oh my gosh, what a nice mic stand.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to be your mic stands because normally you don't have to be in control of holding your microphone.
Okay, so with all that in mind, don't be afraid to use your body. Pretend nobody's watching. All right, and so let's go from the same place. This is take what? Take it two.
Oh, darlings, I'm so glad you were able to come to Capotes together. You'll love it here, though I'm sad the others couldn't join us.
Well, Fluttershy told me that Angel Bunny wasn't feeling good, though I suspect the little bug was faking it.
Apparently Twilight found a new book on magic theory, so we'll probably see her in a week.
And Dash just flat out said,
No way.
when I told her about what we were eating.
Oh, well, if Rainbow Dash wants to be uncultured, that's on her.
Rarity. A lot of these words in the menu are fancy and confusing. I've never heard of them.
Confusing! Aren't you a baker?
Yeah, but I just bake sweets and treats. This chef stuff, besides, I never eaten a normal dinner like in 9 years.
I have more questions, but I don't know if I want to ask them right now.
There's this big word at the top of this page here. On tree.
Great, one more time. And give me a little, but further.
There's this big word at the top of this page here. There's this big word at the top of this page here. On tree? Does that mean we're getting sticks and leaves with the food?
What? No, it's on a tray. It's a term for the main course of the meal.
Great, and now after your pissy entree, do that second one with a big smile because you're teaching him something.
Okay. What? No, it's entree. It's a term for the main course of the meal.
Oh, whew, that's a relief. I ate too many leaves bucking all those apple trees.
Nice, you guys
Great. Something that I love about what just happened was, weren't you guys able to understand the script better this time? Because it is just words, and now it's got feelings attached to it, and motivation and relationship, right? They're starting to have a relationship with each other.
Yeah.
And it's not all just sound. It's about interconnectedness, and the words are making sense, right?
So do you guys have any questions as actors? I'm sure you guys do, but if you haven't gone through this, we're gonna do another page, if that's okay with you guys. Do you wanna hear some more? But how about any questions from y'all up here about what's been going on, or how you're feeling, or any insights or anything?
I am A-okay.
You're A-okay? You are A-okay.
I think I'm good. I'm still exploring the character. I usually use my higher tone, like higher end of the voice, not lower. So it's interesting.
And sometimes as voice actors, we tend to stick to what we know because it feels safe for us. But eventually, you know what? Like I always say, go towards that what scares the bejesus out of you. You know, because you can only do that for so long. And if you want to have any sort of length of career, you need to have options.
Diversity.
And diversity in what you can do. So if you're really comfortable doing that high stuff all the time, force yourself to find other tones, right? Your voice is like a piano. There's all these different keys, right? You want to find a different voice, find out what note you start talking on, and maybe you're going to talk here, and then maybe if you go up a little higher, this note, I'm going to talk up here. Okay, so maybe I'm going to be talking on an A now.
And then there's other qualities to add too, like you could put a rasp on that.
I can put a rasp on it.
Or a lisp.
I can put a lisp on it as well, yeah.
So you can change all these combinations and find tons of different voices.
I could put an English accent on it in order to sound like the drunk queen.
Why don't we try different voices for the second page?
Yeah, so I'm sure you all know, go where you're comfortable and do what you want to do now. Thank you for going and doing something different. But now I want you to do what you want to do. If you want to stick with what you're doing, that's cool. If you want to go up to where your comfort is so you can really fly and soar, that's fine too. Let's take the second page. We're going to be going from rarity. What are julienne, carrots, and celery?
Should we hold the mics again?
Yeah, we will. It's like too much of a bicep workout, but I'll hold your mic.
I don't mind holding my own mic.
No, you need your hands to. I really want you guys to try and use your body a little bit more.
Yeah.
We almost kill each other in the booth all the time.
It's true. It's true. You got to be careful not to hit the stand because there's a music stand.
Or hit each other.
Or hit each other.
Or hit Peter New.
One thing that I've learned from doing breath work and singing is that you use the energy from the ground, all the way from the ground up. Yeah. So when you take your breath in, your preparation breath before you actually start speaking, I'm speaking to our voice actors over on the panel here too, is that you breathe all the way down into the ground. So you press your breath down so that you prepare and you have lots of energy to say the line. So take a moment, especially if you're nervous, you can even have a breath before your line and drop the breath in and then start with your line.
And even with a fast, energetic character, I feel like at least, especially if you're just starting out voice acting and you're starting to go to auditions, maybe prepare a little bit slower than you want the character to end up in an audition circumstance, especially because adrenaline takes everything up a notch. So if you practice at a medium to slow speed, chances are it's going to elevate and have more energy once you're in the room. And take your time because it's just you in that booth most of the time. I've probably had less than 10 auditions in my entire life where the director will patch in and actually read the other lines with you. It's just yourself, and all of those, like if it was just Jessie doing her character, auditioning, you wouldn't hear any of the lines in between. So she can take 2-3 seconds in between if she needs, have time to remember what the next line is going to be, what it's going to sound like, and how it's going to sound different from the last line. So yeah, take your time.
Moment before is super important, right? So if you guys are having a really great day and you walk in the door, chances are you walk in the door with a smile on your face. So how would your hello sound if you're having a great day? Okay, let's say you've been stuck in traffic and you just want to murder everybody on the planet. How would your hello sound?
Hello.
So where you have just come from is going to influence that next line. So you need to remember your emotional journey as you go through the script. Speaking of script, let's stand up and let's do the second page. So as actors now,
They've already been told about pre-life and post-life and adding that sound in. So as a director, I would be expecting that they would start to bring that into their performance, right? Actors and directors, we work together. It's the director's job to shape the performance because they know what the producers want. And not every cartoon is the same, right? Some are really adult and really realistic, almost filmic. Others are real-life people sped up, right? Some are for preschool kids, and some are for teenagers and have lots of funny, dirty jokes in it. I kind of don't mind those either. But you know, you need to know what type of cartoon it is to know, as Michelle was saying, what kind of energy to bring to the table. Okay, let's continue with this second page. I'm coming down, Yay!
You do
There's
a
also
great
a cardio
musical.
panel, apparently.
Cardio, let's get physical.
All right, this is page 2. This is going to be take 3.
Okay. Rarity, what are the julienne carrots and celery?
Oh, to julienne is to slice into long, thin strips. So they're like strips of carrots and celery that you can eat.
Sticks of carrots and celery? Neat! Now I can finally build a house out of them.
What?
When the cake leaves me to babysit the twins, they'll leave the carrots and celery to eat. And they're always playing with it. And they have a great time with it. And now I get to do the same because cake always say, well, Pinkie Pie, make sure they eat their vegetables and don't play with them. But if twins have fun, why can't I? Can't wait for Julie to bring me carrots and celery.
Rarity, what is this? Hey, al dente? Who's this Al feller and why does he have to dent my hay? It's just thin and weak. All it'll do is bend.
Are you serious? Applejack, it's the cooking method used for hay. It just undercooks it a little bit to make it a little more firm.
Why wouldn't Al cook it all the way? Is he an impatient one? Is the pot dented? I bet that's why it's called that.
I hope Julie doesn't let Al dent my carrots and celery. It will ruin structural integrity of the house I'm gonna build.
I don't think that it'll have anything to do with each other.
What if they run off together and start their own restaurant? It will be nothing but long, thin, dented, undercooked carrot and celery. But they'll need to have a ranch dressing if they want.
Serenity now, serenity. Since you two seem to have some issues trying to pick out something on the menu, why don't you just tell me what you want and what you're in the mood for, and I'll find something for you.
Good job. Lots of stuff there, right?
Can I cook?
Oh, you're going to do it again. Don't get all comfortable. We're going to do it again. Overall, so there's lots of words sometimes. And sometimes you get really scared by all those words on the page. But you know how many words you say every day and you do it like it's nobody's business. So you need to get your confidence pants pulled up a little tighter, everybody, because you got this. You're awesome. And you know, Rarity, on that moment where you're like, you know, you can, when you go girls, if we need to, as the actor, if I'm watching you, I should see you, as you're listening to them, actually going through that emotion, right? I want you to actually let that emotion build so that you're like, girls! Right? So you can like really stop them. And then what does it say after that? What does it say? Pinkie Pie and Applejack, what? Pause and stare at Rarity. So what would that sound like? If you're gonna stop and stare at someone, everybody, what would that sound like? 1, 2, 3. Huh? Could be one, right? Or what? Yeah, or? Great, so let's us three do that, okay, on the count of 3?
And what we do in the studio is when it says 2 actors' names or more than 2, everyone says, or everyone has a reaction. We all, one person in the room will count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
So we record it all at the same same time.
So it's all recorded, yeah, and they cut out the 1, 2, 3. But it's something that we've learned over time that you need to do that so that it all sticks together.
Does that make sense? So how about you count in for that line, okay? So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then you'll do it at the same time as him. Does that make sense? Okay, when we do the run.
To quickly say something I was impressed with though that you did. When you did that big line near the end, you pulled away from the mic. And then the volume wasn't too loud for the microphone, wasn't too loud for them. So that was a great use of mic technique.
Yeah, good mic technique. That long bit there though, Rarity, again, you had a great beginning with the deep breath, serenity now, and then you had a little bobble. That's okay. So just shake it off and go back to the beginning of that line so you can have that whole flow. And if you have to do it 5 or 6 times, it doesn't matter because we'll take the take that's the best. Sometimes we'll even put a couple together. But what ends up sometimes happening in the booth is you see actors getting frustrated. They're like, okay, so today I'm gonna, beep, you know, you can hear them swearing at themselves. And then they just keep jumping in and jumping in and jumping in without, as Michelle was saying earlier, taking that moment to go, okay, today I'm gonna tell you a story. Got through the line, yes! You know, so you want to, if you make a mistake, it is okay. And that's actually really good advice for real life too, right? Here's my little Celestia tip. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Okay. So let's do this. This is take number what? 4. Michelle can count.
Thank you. I did school.
Counting! Yeah! Okay, take 4, go.
Rarity, what are julienne carrots and celery?
Oh, to julienne is to slice into thin little strips. They're like strips of carrots and celery that you can eat.
Sticks of carrots and celery? Neat. No, I can build my house out of them.
Great, hold on a sec, let's go back.
That line again.
And that is, see there's that word neat. I want you to discover, think about it. Sticks of carrots and celery? Oh my gosh, it's like Christmas morning! I want that feeling on that line. Go from there.
Sticks of carrots and celery? Neat! No, I can build a house out of them.
Wait, what?
When the cake leaves me to babysit the twins, when the cakes leave me to babysit the twins, they'll leave carrots and celery to eat. And they're always playing with it. And they're have a great time with it. No, I want to get to do the same with cakes. No, I want to get to do the same because, as the cakes always says, no, Pinkie Pie, make sure they eat their veggies and not play with them. But if twins have fun, why can't I? Can't wait for Julie to bring me carrots and celery.
Okay, I want a big sigh in front of this. You just, I can't wait to try that.
I can't wait to Julie to bring me carrots and celery.
One more time, big sigh.
I can't wait for Julie to bring me carrots and celery.
Big sigh in front of the line.
I can't wait for Julie to bring me carrots and celery.
Rarity, what is this hey al dente? Who's this Al feller and why does he have to dent my hay? It's just thin and weak, all it'll do is bend.
Great, and now just one more time, and it's supposed to be pissed off at Al, like I think it's more like, man, it's just, you know, like maybe put a little goofy laugh after it, yeah, okay.
Rarity, what is this hey al dente? Who's this Al feller and why does he have to dent my hay? It's just thin and weak, all it'll do is bend.
Are you serious? Applejack. That's Applejack, that's the cooking method used for hay. It just cooks it a little under to make it a bit more firm.
Why wouldn't Al cook it all the way? Is he an impatient one? Is the pot dented? I bet that's why it's called that.
So I think that's the moment where it's like, oh, it's like deep thoughts, right? Like, and one thought leads to the next thought, which leads to the other thought, which is like, whoa. Right? Try it like that.
Why wouldn't Al cook it all the way? Is he an impatient one? Is the pot dented? I bet that's why it's called that.
I hope Julie doesn't let Al dent my carrots and celery. It'll ruin structural integrity of the house I'm gonna build.
I don't think they would have anything to do with each other.
What if they run out of... What?
Okay, this is an idea. You're getting an idea. Do you guys know what a light bulb moment is? It's like bing! It's like, ooh, angels are singing, okay? You ready? Go!
What if they run off together and start their own restaurant? It will be nothing but long, thin, tender, undercooked carrots and celery. But they'll know how to crunch the side there if they want to...
1, 2, 3.
Serenity now, serenity now. Since you two seem to be having some issues trying to pick something off the menu, why don't you just tell me what you want and I'll order it for you?
Yeah! Are you guys feeling a little bit exhausted? Just a little bit?
Let's get this day started.
Okay. So last page, right? I think what you guys should do is now you've got an idea of what we're looking for. We're going to talk with these people while you take 2 minutes to go over your script, write down your pre and your post life, put down any tactics or sounds, smiley faces, anything on your script. Our scripts are bolded and written on, and if you're next to Tabitha, she'll sometimes doodle on your page. Draw a little bunny.
Sometimes I may fold mine into a paper airplane.
You know.
It's just bound to happen.
Really nice moments there. Could you guys hear the difference? Yeah, right? And even that, you want to take those moments and create something out of it, because if we're feeling it, you guys are going to feel it. And I think that's, the writing is where it all starts, but it's our job to make even the smelliest bit of writing, which you never say out loud. It's always fabulous. Really great.
Sound real.
Yeah.
Feel real.
Yeah. Another round of applause for these guys. They're doing a great job.
They're working hard, and this is under pressure too. There's nothing like doing it under pressure. Normally we're in a booth, and it's kind of safe. You can make mistakes, and for the most part, you're surrounded by a community of others who are very much like you, who've struggled and sometimes had a bad day, or haven't figured stuff out.
But there's an agreement that when you walk into the studio, it's a safe space. It's a place to explore. It's a place where there will be no judgment. It's a place of support, and it's a place of community.
Kind of like the Brony community.
Kind of like BronyCon.
But that truly is, in order to be vulnerable, you need to have support, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be, it takes a lot of guts to stand up here and to do this. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to listen and to hear direction from other people that might put you in a place that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. But that's what it's about. It's not just about a funny voice. And you can hear when they're getting more deep into the script, you guys understand the story better, yeah?
That's our number one job as voice actors, is to use our imagination to bring everything to life, because most of the animation is done after what we do in the studio. We're at the very first step of the process after the writing.
So we actually have the power to shift and to change the drawing.
Yeah, we have to bring it literally to life and build everything in our heads, which kind of sounds, when you put it like that, makes us sound a little crazy, but we have to be a little crazy.
So how are you doing up here, actors? Feel good? Good enough to try page 3? I think so! Let's do this! I got you. All right, so we're going to do this once through. This is the ending of the scene, and this is take what? 5. She can count. Counting is fun.
Well, that sounds very kind and helpful of you, Rarity. I thank you.
It's not a problem, dear. Now just tell me what you'd like.
Apple fritters, apple tarts, caramel apples, apple turnovers, apple crisp,
Get apples off your mind for 1 minute and try again.
Twice seems to like hay burgers. Do they have that here?
That was a really good example of milking the moment. Good job.
Sure, whatever. I'll order something like that for you. What about you, Pinky?
Everything!
Pinky? No. This isn't Ponyville Day's eating contest. Pick one thing.
I don't know what she's having.
Oh, the kale and lavender soup.
Oh, kale? Oh dear, I think I'm allergic to that. But the choice has been made, and I will power through the meal with all my might for you and for Julie.
I'm going to the ladies' room. Don't follow me.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So, Applejack, will Al put a bunch of dents on the wall of the restaurant? Or do you think Julie will be mad at him for that?
You have quite the imagination there, Pinky.
And scene. Keep that applause going for No Hacking, Alex, and Shelby. Michelle Creber, Rebecca Shoichet, and Nicole Oliver. Thank you very much for playing with us. See y'all later. Have a great day.
See you soon.